October 28, 2025. Connor Bedard completes his first NHL hat trick.
He scores! What a shot by Connor Bedard! Skates the puck in, Bedard with a shot, he scores! Connor Bedard! Face off of the offensive zone for the Hawks. There's a shot there, he scores! A hat-trick goal for Connor Bedard! And here come the Hats!
But watch his celebration after that third goal. He drops to one knee in a controlled slide, face serious and focused. Then his teammates reach him and finally a smile. Like he knew this moment was coming. The kid who used to struggle with basic fundamentals just dismantled an entire NHL team.
And look at these hats on the ice. Nicholas Hjalmarsson, you've witnessed a lot of hat tricks in your career, but for Connor Bedard, this is his first ever in the NHL and many more to come, I'm sure.
6 months earlier, everyone thought Bedard was crazy. While other young stars chased international glory, he made a decision that shocked the hockey world. He walked away from Team Canada to spend his summer training, obsessing over every weakness in his game. That sacrifice changed everything. The NHL thought they knew what Connor Bedard was. They were wrong. They weren't ready for what he became. When Bedard got drafted first overall, the hype was massive. Generational talent, the next McDavid, hockey's savior in Chicago. But the NHL has a way of humbling even the most gifted players. Don't get me wrong, the kid could shoot. That release was pure magic. Quick, accurate, deadly from anywhere in the offensive zone. Goalies knew it was coming and still couldn't stop it. But hockey's more than just scoring goals. The problems were obvious to anyone watching closely. Former NHL player Paul Bissonnette didn't hold back on TNT's panel. He called out Bedard's effort level, his defensive positioning, his compete level in battles.
So there's so many little details to his game that he's lacking right now that, yes, he might put up 30, 35 goals a season and get his 50, 55 assists by paying power play and getting all these minutes, but they're going to continue to lose hockey games if that's how he's playing. That is pond hockey.
He's not engaged defensively, Bissonnette said. He's not winning puck battles. For a guy with his talent, that's unacceptable. Then came the real kicker. He's playing pond hockey out there.
The proper habits to know when it's time to dump the puck in and go chase it, or know when it's time to give up on a dangle and just make the right play instead.
That stung, but it was true. Bedard was playing like he expected his skill alone to carry him. The NHL doesn't work that way. Face-offs were also a nightmare, below 39% his first 2 seasons. That's brutal for a center. Coaches couldn't trust him for important face-offs in their own end. That meant less ice time in close games. Here's a kid who dominated junior hockey, suddenly struggling with basic NHL fundamentals. The speed was different, the strength was different. You could see it eating at him. After bad shifts, he'd slam his stick on the bench. During interviews, he'd give short answers about working on things or getting better. Most young players would have made excuses, not Bedard. He became obsessed with fixing every flaw, stayed after practice working on fundamentals, watched video until his eyes hurt. The foundation had cracks, but Bedard was about to rebuild it completely. So, here's where things get interesting. May 2025, Hockey Canada calls. They want Bedard for the World Championships, prime opportunity to represent his country, play alongside NHL stars, maybe win some hardware. Any 20-year-old would jump at that chance. Bedard said no. The hockey world was shocked. Social media exploded. Is Bedard giving up on Team Canada? Does he not care about his country? Even some former players criticized the decision. They didn't understand what was really happening. While everyone else was focused on short-term glory, Bedard was playing chess. He knew exactly what he needed to fix, and he wasn't going to waste another summer pretending those problems would solve themselves. Back home in Vancouver, Bedard got to work. His main focus, overall speed and explosiveness. The skating that had held him back needed a complete overhaul. He admitted he'd taken the wrong approach to skating training the previous summer, but this time would be different. The training group was impressive. Macklin Celebrini, the Sharks' first overall pick. Kent Johnson from Columbus. Canucks forward Arshdeep Bains. Capitals prospect Andrew Crystal. All elite players pushing each other every day. But Bedard also made technical changes. He switched from a 70 flex stick to a 75 flex, stiffer for better face-offs and more power. Summer was the perfect time to adjust, he said. The more you can go up and flex and feel comfortable, it helps with other things. The skating work was relentless. Hours in the gym building explosive power. Then on-ice sessions focused on efficient movement and game situations. A lot of skates, there's a lot of thinking involved, Bedard explained. You're putting yourself in game situations. 3 months of this, testing everything against elite competition, daily. No shortcuts, no excuses. The improvements were obvious to anyone watching the training footage that leaked online. But the real test was coming. All this work meant nothing if it didn't translate to NHL games. 10 games into the 2025-26 season, it was obvious something had changed. Major improvements across the board. Bedard looked like a much better player. The skating hits you first. The numbers don't lie. His top speed jumped from 21.44 miles per hour in year 2 to 22.36 miles per hour in year 3. That might sound small, but in the NHL, nearly a full mile per hour is massive. His first step was explosive, not just fast, explosive.
6'5" defenseman who, could probably pump Connor Bedard's eyes shut, but he doesn't need
the kind of acceleration that creates instant separation. But the real difference was his compete level. Remember the kid who used to get muscled off pucks? Now he was initiating contact, bumping defensemen off their angles, using his body to protect the puck in ways he never could before. A perfect example, game against St. Louis. Colton Parayko, all 6'6" of him, getting into it with Bedard. Old Bedard would have backed down. New Bedard, he stood his ground, not backing down from anyone. Even Paul Bissonnette, who'd criticized Bedard before, was impressed. Bedard's not taking any crap, he said on the TNT panel. His compete level is through the roof. He's winning stick battles, puck battles. He's taking physical abuse and laughing. Faceoffs told another story. A jump from 38% to 43% might not sound huge, but in the NHL, that's massive. Suddenly, coaches could trust him in defensive situations. The improvements were forcing people to talk money. Bissonnette predicted Bedard could hit 40 goals and 70 points in his third season. If that happens, he said, by next year's cap, if he has a year like that, who else are they going to pay? He even suggested Bedard could command up to $13 million annually. Teams had no idea how to handle this improved version. The system they'd used to shut him down, suddenly less effective. You couldn't force him wide anymore. He'd just cut back inside. You couldn't out-muscle him. He'd use his speed to avoid contact entirely. This wasn't just about one player getting better, though. This was bigger than individual improvement. Bedard's evolution was forcing the entire league to adapt. Young players coming into the NHL were getting a new message. Raw talent isn't enough anymore. You need to be complete. Teams started changing their development programs. More emphasis on skating coaches. Face-off specialists becoming standard. The old approach of let them figure it out was dead. Bedard had shown what happens when you actually commit to fixing weaknesses. For the Blackhawks, this transition accelerated everything. Their rebuild timeline got cut in half. Suddenly, they weren't just hoping to be competitive in 3 years. They were competing right now. Bedard's complete game was elevating everyone around him, including emerging young talents like Frank Nazar and Sam Rinzel, who could now develop alongside a truly elite center. This was the start of a new era, where superstars couldn't just rely on one elite skill, where the best players would be the most complete players. Bedard wasn't just changing his own game, he was changing hockey's blueprint for greatness. Bedard's sacrifice that summer redefined what it means to be a superstar. While others chased trophies, he chased perfection. Now the league's scrambling to catch up while he keeps improving. The kid who used to avoid battles is now setting the standard for complete hockey players. If you enjoyed this video, check out this one about Bedard's lifestyle. It's not what you think.